don't ride for nobody, no badge, no crew. Truth don't play favors, it just come through. I don't take sides, I take time and review. So to put it, let the context break through. If you clean, that stamp stay true.
Welcome to In Plain Sight. What happens when you find a body? Okay, I mean, that was a bit, I came straight at you. I'm sorry I came straight at you like that. Let's start over. Welcome to In Plain Sight. What happened to you find a dead body? Does that make it a little better? Does that make you feel welcome? We're gonna talk about it. Apparently, they say a cop says he found a body, but it wasn't intact, but it was alive. I got no idea what part he found. Any part you find that's not attached to you that you said you can say is alive, it had to be moving. I don't know if I'd be a cop after that. I think, man, you know what? I think horror movies are for movies, not for real life. So let's find out what part he find first, and then what exactly made him think it's alive. I can't tell you how curious I am because I'm what? I might be the cat that curiosity killed at this point. Let's find out.
Did this guy get hit?
Yeah, he's missing a leg, and the other one is all like, I don't know, his pants or anything holding him on or what. His foot there and stuff on this side, part of his leg is on this side. He's a mess, but he's still alive.
He's still alive?
In a remote area of western Nevada, railroad workers call the local sheriff's department to report a dismembered body lying in the jagged rocks alongside the tracks. The treacherous desert terrain forces the responding deputy to ride the train back to the location of the sighting, roughly a mile from the nearest highway. When he finds the man miraculously conscious despite catastrophic injuries, he'll have to do everything in his power to keep him alive as the sun sets on this desolate landscape.
You know, the human body, the human body is a wild one. I grew up watching all kinds of movies, and that's all I can reference at this point because this don't make no sense. I've watched a lot of movies, and I have seen some things in my time on film that I thought you would never be able to replicate in real life. This might have been one of them. Now, to the extent of what parts got severed, I don't know. But if piece of me over here, a piece of me over here, and I'm still conscious to the point where I can talk to you, shock. That's the only thing I can think of that's keeping me there. Hey, curiosity. Let's see.
It's early evening on April 7th, 2024, when the Churchill County Sheriff's Department receives a call from the train operators in an outlying area.
Sheriff's office?
Yes, ma'am. Hi, this is Hyman with Union Pacific Railroad. I was calling because I had a train crew report a individual that's laying down on our right-of-way. We're not sure if he's injured of any kind. The train crew thinks they may have seen the person move.
And is he laying down on the tracks or next to them?
Next to the tracks.
The details are sparse, but the caller provides enough information for police to begin investigating. Unfortunately, when Deputy Ty Nelson arrives at the railroad tracks, he discovers that it will be no simple feat to actually get to the individual.
Hey, Sarge, can you hear me?
Yeah. Did this guy get hit?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm at the railroad crossing, and he's saying it's going to be easier to catch a ride on the train to where he's at because you can't get to it in the truck.
If it's critical, let us know so that we can get care flight.
Perhaps no law enforcement shift can be considered typical, but riding a train to the scene of the incident is unusual by any metric.
You think? We're going back in the Western days when you had to catch a train. You'd probably rob it too. We have a lot of train tracks near where I live, and they usually have a car that has been outfitted with rail wheels, and so you can just traverse in this vehicle. And what they do is it's piled to the side, regular wheels, and then when they get there, it just comes down, presses down on the tracks, and pushes the car up so they can traverse with it. It's a wild-looking thing. I want one, but not to drive on the train tracks, just to say I got one, because it's cool looking. You know, the inner kid in me. So you got to take a train to where he's at. How he get there? That's all I want to know is how you got to that place to get hit. If I got to take a train to you. Okay.
Nonetheless, Deputy Nelson knows that the situation is urgent, and he's about to learn that the victim is in even worse shape than he realized.
What's that? We'll jump on the rear locomotive and he'll take his time. All righty. Yeah. All aboard. I'll bring it back 100.
I'll make sure you're safe.
Want to get inside the locomotive? You good here?
I'm good here.
Okay.
The inner kid, okay, he might be investigating something brutally crazy, but his inner child just showed up. I don't care what kind, I don't care. A boy and a train, you getting to ride on the ride that train, buddy. No, I'm good here. That's his inner child that's popped out there. I would have been in the same boat. Nope, I'm not going inside. I'll stay out here I can see the train track and the train moving. Leave me here.
Yeah, he's missing a leg, and the other one is all like, I don't know, his pants or anything hold him on or what.
Okay.
His foot there and stuff on this side, part of his leg is on this side. He's a mess, but he's still alive.
He's still alive? Okay.
Yeah. Amtrak went by him before us and said that they thought they saw a body. That's why we checked. And there's a bag up here in right at the hotel going in tonight. I think that's his bag. I don't know.
Okay.
If he fell off, had to get up, I don't know.
The ride back to the scene didn't take more than 5 minutes.
Let's check this on the outside of the wall.
Yeah.
See what I mean? But I didn't know how you could get it.
Yeah.
A quick glance at the surrounding landscape shows why it may not be possible to get an ambulance to the victim.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to have access or a landing zone. I might have to pick this guy up and put him on the train and put him to where my car is. Sir, can you hear me? What's your name? Can you tell me your name? Can you hear me? Sir, I'm Deputy Nelson. Can you tell me your name? Huh? Okay.
Hearing about the man's injuries from a witness is one thing. Seeing them up close is quite another. It's quickly clear to Deputy Nelson that he must take decisive measures.
Deputy Nelson, I'm going to be putting a tourniquet on you, okay? What's your name? I can't hear you.
The man on the ground is barely coherent, and the deputy knows that he needs emergency medical attention without delay.
Do you have a phone that you can get signal?
Yeah.
Can you let them know I'm Deputy Nelson? Tell them to get care flight on standby and get them here now.
Okay.
As soon as possible.
911?
Huh?
911 or what?
Call them, tell them that you're here with me, and tell them that we're going to need care flight.
Somebody call.
911.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell them I have a double amputee.
Damn.
Okay.
How do you survive that? Like, how much adrenaline you got to have going through your body to survive it? Just blood loss alone. Much less pain would have had me pass out. But maybe the shock of getting hit, you don't feel the pain. But blood loss, it's not really something you can say, I'm not losing blood. You can't do that.
911, what's your emergency?
Hi, my name's Robert Miller. I'm with Union Pacific Railroad. I'm here with Deputy Nelson, and he says we need a care flight here immediately. We have a man with double amputee on his legs, got hit by a train.
Okay, we have care flight on the way. Their ETA isn't until 1953, so we still have a ways to go.
Holy 1953.
Yeah, they're coming from Truckee.
Okay, from Truckee. Okay.
The medic should be there soon, though.
Okay, we'll bring the train back to the crossing and bring the medic back to him.
Okay,
all right, thank you. Bye.
The helicopter is coming from Truckee, California, which is approximately 80 miles west of Churchill County, Nevada.
Phew.
The 35-minute wait time is a setback, but local EMTs are also on the way. The train heads back to the highway to pick them up while Deputy Nelson stays with the double amputee.
Can you hear me? Hey, I'm sticking with you, okay? Stay with me, okay?
When I tell you, I'm so curious as to how the hell this man got in this predicament. I really want to know. He had that. Okay, first of all, if you're on a train, falling off, how? If you are walking How the hell you get hit by trains aren't quiet. They're not like cats where they just kind of sneak up on you. It's a train. I'm curious so bad. Look, what? Come on.
I'm gonna lift your head up, okay? I'm gonna put your head under my my jacket under you. All right? Is that better? Can you hear me? Yes, sir. What's your first name? Bird? Do you have ID on you? Do you have a wallet or anything?
The victim can't quite articulate his name, but that won't prevent the deputy from providing all the comfort he can under the circumstances.
All right, I'm here with you, okay? Can you squeeze my hand? Good. All right, don't squeeze. Hold off on it. Squeeze again. All right, that's good. That's good. All right, stay with me, okay? I got you. Can you open your eyes for me? All right, that's good. It's real good. All right, just stick with me, okay?
The man isn't capable of having a conversation, but the officer does manage to find something helpful in the nearby rocks.
Victor. Okay. All right, Victor. Nelson, okay? You can call me Ty. I'm here for you. All right? You're gonna be okay. All right. We're not gonna move you, okay? I'm not gonna move you because I don't know if you have any spinal injuries or anything like that. Okay? No, stop moving.
Where the leg at?
Just sit here, okay? I understand that you're probably in a lot of pain, but I need you to stay still, okay? Hey, it's Nelson. Hey, my subject's name is going to be last of Reynolds, first of Victor. I don't have a date of birth. He is conscious, barely alert, barely mumbling. He is a double amputee.
Okay, I advise the medic.
Okay. I'm not going to move him. I don't know if he has any back or spinal injuries. He is breathing, though.
Okay.
All right.
It's not clear how aware Victor is of what's happening around him, but it must surely be a comfort that he's no longer spending what might have been his final moments lying alone in the drift of rocks beside the railroad tracks.
Here's a thing I think people may or may not think about. Now, cops aren't medics. They might be trained in some medical procedures to keep people alive and functioning barely. But what's your state of mind walking up to somebody who's in pieces? You know what kind of emotions you got to park to be able to converse with somebody where he's here and two pieces of him are elsewhere. I can handle some things, but no. Reason number 565 why I'm not a cop. I couldn't walk into a scene like that. Nope.
As for Deputy Nelson, he does his best to keep Victor still while being mindful of his agony.
Your back is hurting? All right, fine. I'll roll you over, okay? We'll put this jacket under your back, okay? Here. All right, stay right there. Here, you can roll back over. I got my jacket under your back, okay? If you want to lay on my jacket.
The other thing, he's on really sharp rocks. So you don't know whether the pain is from a puncture, from just pressure on the rocks, or it's broken. That's a rough place to be in, though.
All right. Oh, stop trying to move. Victor, I need you to stop moving, okay? I'm not going anywhere, okay? We have paramedics on their way.
Medics have indeed arrived at the railroad crossing, and they too will have to ride the train back to the scene of the grisly accident.
Can you still squeeze my hand? Can you open your hand all the way? Can you open your hand all the way? All right, squeeze it. There you go. Good job.
Keep him awake.
Good job, Victor. All right, good job. All right. All right, sounds like the train's coming, okay? So that means the medics are coming. All right. Let's let the medics get here. Let's see what we can do, and then we'll go from there. All right. Sound like a plan? All right. Cool.
Shock and
Medics are here.
Deputy Nelson has spent 20 long minutes alone with Victor while waiting for the EMTs, and he's no doubt relieved to finally have them on the scene.
How we doing?
It's good. He's alert. He's talking
All right.
for the most part.
And we got tourniquets both.
Both on. He's able to squeeze my hand. He's able to squeeze both hands. The other foot is on the other side of the tracks.
All right.
Just wasn't sure what else to do. I wanted to keep him warm, so I didn't cut that off.
What kind of a wild statement? The other foot is on the other side of the tracks. You think he got up that morning thinking this is a statement that was going to come out of his mouth? He's going to report to some scene that he got called to, and he's got to report to people, yeah, one foot's over there and the other foot's over there, and this is where the guy is. Wow.
If not, hey, Victor, stay there, okay? Stop moving.
All right, I'm gonna go get that over here.
Okay, it's a little back to the north there.
I'm going to go get the other limb.
As one EMT goes in search of Victor's other foot, the deputy acknowledges that there's much he still doesn't know about the man himself.
Do you have a date of birth by chance?
No, I'm not getting a lot out of him.
Not really my priority.
No.
I'd rather get out of everything now.
Yeah. I can call dispatch and see if they found anything,
See a
but
felon?
I don't know. I can't tell from that.
I'm the I ain't too depressed about it.
Right. So,
Okay.
I don't know if there's a wallet. If there is, and it's tied with the tourniquet, but
No worries. All right.
They stay focused on the goal of keeping Victor alive, but many mysteries surround the man in their care. And indeed, many more will come to the surface before this night is over.
I mean, look, date of birth matters because you don't know the age of the person. So you have to deal with a lot in terms of, how the body's going to be functioning, blood regulation, propensities for certain ailments at a certain age, the type of failure or non-failure that the body might be going through depending on the age. So I get why they were really trying to figure that out. But I'm curious, man, as to how you got there. That's my biggest question. How in the hell you get there?
you need to roll over. We need you to stay in like this, okay? We're gonna get some an IV in you, okay? I need you to stay as still as possible. Still with me, Victor? All right.
The sight of these modern medical devices against the backdrop of this barren desert only highlights the urgency of getting Victor to the hospital. The question is, how are they going to do that?
Yeah, it's a good question.
On the stretcher?
Huh?
Are you putting them on the stretcher and taking them over?
I'm sure.
Okay.
It's gonna be a blanket.
I got them. Eyes are still opening. Hands are moving.
Neither Deputy Nelson nor the EMT can disguise their doubts about that prospect, but there is hope on the horizon as the care flight helicopter finally arrives on the scene.
It looks like he's going up to the crossing. We might go up there and try to get his attention. He didn't see us as we went by.
I'm sure he saw you.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's probably trying to find a landing.
Just try to find a place to land that's safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We might have to do with him like
Keep
we did.
your arm right there.
There it goes.
Flow
Go
better.
slow.
Yeah, I just keep the arm straight.
This is wild.
Hey, Victor, keep your arm straight right there, okay? Don't move it.
I ain't never seen anything
Hoping
like
for a break, the deputy surveys the area for an acceptable place where the helicopter could land.
Oh, sh- Sucks.
One thing's for sure, with the sun going down on the Nevada desert, the conditions out here aren't getting any better.
Look, I heard some stories about the Nevada desert. I've heard stories about the desert, period. For all the heat, come nightfall, it get cold. It get cold. And the drastic change between that super hot and the cold is usually what gets people. I heard enough stories. I don't want to experience it because I don't like the cold. I don't want to experience that.
Mr. Nelson.
Hey, Care Flight landed on 95 near the ambulance.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a possible landing spot kind of where we're at, but I don't know if they're okay with landing there.
Okay.
We're not going to be able to get this guy onto the train though.
Okay.
So
I'm not sure how we're going to get him back if
yeah.
Care Flight can't land.
Okay. All right. We'll do with what we can. All right. Bye. They landed by you guys. That's a mile up the road.
The lack of good options forces Deputy Nelson to prepare for what will be an extremely grueling task.
If you guys are down with it, I'm willing to carry him as far as I can.
We might not have
take breaks. Yeah, we don't have a choice. It is what it is. Let's do it.
All right.
All right. The blanket
Here. Yeah, let's try to see if we can get to the blanket kind of wrapped around it.
No one can pretend that this will be anything other than a tough journey, but they are willing to do what they must to save Victor's life. Fortunately, it won't come to that.
Can I get the flashlight? Let's see if I can go.
Looking at this is what you call a good cop. I ain't gonna lie. This guy, one, he loves his job, and two, he can tell you.
All right, Victor, I need you to roll towards deputy over here, all right? Attaboy. All right. Oh, a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Oh, yeah. All right, so our plan is we use the blanket as kind of just a sheet and just like drag him up to the. Yeah, it's kind of the plan. Do you guys want to take his limbs with you now, or do you want to come back for him? No.
In a night filled with unpleasant questions, this won't be the last.
What was the deal with the dog in the backpack?
I have no idea. I haven't established that part yet.
Fair enough. I think so.
Deputy Nelson arrived at the railroad tracks that evening with very little information, knowing only that it was a welfare check on a, quote, male subject laying down next to the railroad tracks and possibly a backpack with a deceased dog inside.
What? That's now if he had a little doggy and he gets smacked and the dog, poor Victor, man.
Police take Victor's backpack from the scene and photograph it, but there's no further explanation of its origin or its unsettling contents.
Unless he killed the dog first.
Appreciate it. Thank you for landing here.
Oh, man. You should take it back on the trail.
No.
I don't think that would have been. Those are some steep steps.
Victor's lonely nightmare by the railroad tracks is finally over, and now it's time for Deputy Nelson and the EMTs to climb those steps one final time for the ride back.
On board, clear red zone on the B-71.
But thirsty, want water?
Not at the moment, thank you though.
Sure.
I'll take one. Hydrate or dihydrate. Thank you. We'll just start pouring on you.
Yeah.
The night may still be young, but it's not one that Deputy Nelson is likely to forget, nor is he quite done. There are still many unanswered questions about what exactly happened here. Unfortunately, finding those answers won't be easy.
The Union Pacific guy who was on the train told me that it was possibly 2 trains before him. Stated that there was an Amtrak train that had noticed the guy on the side of the tracks, and they reported it to Union Pacific, and then Union Pacific called us. So he was assuming that it was the train before Amtrak.
My guess is this guy probably was somewhere in the consist of the train and jumped off or fell off or something. So probably won't have any images of it, but they'll be able to tell you which train it was.
Unfortunately, narrowing down the correct train may be even more difficult than that.
I've had stuff like this where somebody got their leg cut off and they were there for a solid 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Trains went by and nobody saw them. So this could be something completely different than what we're all thinking. So just a suggestion, if this is something where maybe you could talk to him tomorrow and get more info, it'd probably save you a lot of spinning your wheels.
Okay.
The idea that Victor might have suffered that long without assistance is nearly unthinkable. And unfortunately, the police report does not provide a definitive answer as to when he was struck. He was transported by care flight to Reno, Nevada, thus bringing Churchill County's involvement in the case to an end. On May 1st, 2024, roughly 3 weeks after the incident, Sheriff Richard Hickox presented Deputy Ty Nelson with a letter of commendation for the, quote, compassion, empathy, care, and professionalism displayed on that unusual call for service. Interestingly, Deputy Nelson had joined the forces only a few months ago before the incident and had already shown such courage. Unfortunately, while several Facebook users asked about the victim's survival, the sheriff's office did not respond. There's been no update as of yet on the status of Victor Reynolds.
That is some wild, wild stuff. I guess there's only one object lesson. Don't jump from trains. Or 2, don't be around trains don't be around trains in the desert. I don't know how you get struck. 1, I don't know how you fall from the train. 2, that the amount of questions in my head about the possibilities that exist and how, bruh. But the other side is, if he's been sitting there for more than the time that they think, commendations to Victor too for staying alive. I don't know how you did it, brother. Oh, drugs or just adrenaline. I don't even know. I couldn't put myself in that at all. But y'all, hey, some of y'all might know the situation. Some of you might be family members. I'm not asking you to divulge stuff you can't divulge, but if you got an update on Victor, please let me know. Damn. Anyhow, I look forward to your comments on this one. This was a trippy one, but you might have plenty to say. So when you got it, holler at me, and I'll catch you on the next one.
One wrong move turn the present into the past. I don't ride for nobody, no badge, no crew. Truth don't play favors, it just come through. I don't take sides, I take time and review. So to put it, let the context break through. If you clean, that stamp stay true. If you foul, that show up too. No miss, no spin, no cover up hype. Everything judge in plain sight.